Okay guys, this is Cruise Roy with the H1 flight controller. I hope this helps someone out, but I finally got in my S-Bus. It's a 3-channel. I hope it does everything that it's supposed to. It's supposed to take care of all the channels on this. And just want to let you know, mine's written in Japanese, so I really can't tell where everything goes. I did find out that's where the S-Bus does a receiver in. This part is in Japanese. I think it's some kind of power outsource for metering your power. And the GPS, of course, is in English, and the USB. I just want to show you that I did a video on the Futaba setting up the radio. I didn't complete it because it has to be hooked up to the USB port to do so. But right now, I'm just going to show you that the receiver is linked to the H1. And you know, these receivers run on anything from 4.8 volts up to 7 high voltage, but you can actually use the USB. This is the USB that came with the H1. It's kind of stiff and short, so when people try to do calibrations, I noticed that they have a problem. So I went on eBay and got this 10-foot braided USB-C for less than $7. And it's braided. It's tough, it's long and soft, so it can spin around, do the calibrations. And for just doing this test right here, you can actually just plug it into an Android or an Apple charging brick. But what I'm going to do is just hook it up right now to my PC. Hook it up to my PC, and I will put it in the USB-C port on the H1. I'm going to turn on my radio. If you notice, it's got a red light and the H1's blinking like crazy. I'll turn on my Futaba radio, and I already did the settings in the transmitter, at least some of them. And if you notice, it linked, but I really can't show you anything because you shouldn't connect a servo to the receiver or the H1 while it's plugged in. So now that I showed you that part, I'm going to power down. I got a voltage meter here. I got to check the ESC in this. I put in a line ESC, but otherwise this company here, everything's the same. The servos, tail servo, motor, and everything except for the ESC. I got in the line 50 CNC in here. I mean, not CNC, sorry, I got CNC on the head. The ESC, but it also has a BEC. I'll check the voltage to see if it's okay to run the H1. Alright, so let me power down the H1, power down my radio. And like I said, it's going to be a little tricky. I got a picture of someone's H1 with English language on it. So this is my donor. It's a 380, Devil 380, my Iron Man. Like I said, I think I said in the last video that I put this together before COVID and I never really flown it. It was all set up, ready to go with Spectrum, and I just didn't get a chance to fly it. So we're going to pull the Spectrum out, and we're going to install the H1 setup. And hopefully this helps someone out. I watched this setup video. Of course it's in Chinese or Japanese, whatever you want to call it. Not sure of the language, but it's weird how they do the servos. They're like left, right, front and back. So I'm assuming here my elevator is the front and back, and then you have your aileron and rudder. I mean, your rudder's down here on this bird. And so let me get this receiver off first. I've already cut some wire ties. This is the Futaba power. We can do that real quick. I'm going to pull the power out, and I'm going to put it right here. And I have a battery on this. Should hear the motor come on. Let me test it out and put the meter on. Alright, hold on. Oh, sorry, didn't have it hooked up. There we go. Let's check this again. Always check your voltage on this. I'm going to put the meter right here. Hopefully you can see it. Positives in the middle. And the ground. So it looks to be pushing 509, which is fine for the H1. So let's get this out of here. Alright, so now disconnect the battery. And I know the only one here that's power is the Futaba, but the rest is the satellite, and then we have our servos. So I'm just going to yank out four servo wires, move everything out of the way, and let me see. Get a little screwdriver here. I got to break two-face tape off. So you don't need to really see this, but okay. Had it on there pretty good. Okay, so we're going to take this off. I also have a satellite down here. Keep this receiver for another setup. Get all the adhesive off. It's nice that these 380s have a lot of room up here and a nice flat spot. Alrighty. Alright, so anyways, so I know the USB goes there. The power source now on this H1 just bear with me, I have to look for it. It's the one closest to the USB. The one closest to the USB. And positive's in the middle, but negative is facing up, so brown wire up, or black wire, of course. Alright, so there's our power. I'm going to disconnect the GPS for right now. Move the wires out of the way. The Futaba is going to go in that direction. What I want to do is put down some nice 3M tape. Putting a double layer of the 3M gray. I know it can absorb a lot of shock anyways, and this is an electric, so just going to give it a little bit more. That's what happens when you don't have any nails to pull everything apart. Alright, so mounting the H1, arrow facing towards the rotors. I'm going to come back as far as I can, so no electromagnetic fields. I'm going to push steady and hard on this. Okay. Alright. So like I said, we'll need a little piece for the receiver. Alright, I think we can find a nice healthy spot here. And always remember on futabas, tenor and a V. So I'm going to put it right here. Check it with the canopy, that's good. Okay, we'll do a Y tie on that. Alright. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Alright, we'll zoom in a little bit. Alright, so the GPS is going to go out here. I do have the longer H1 cord, so I can go way back, but I'm just going to do a little curly Q, but we're not going to do that right now. So the next thing I got to do is put all the servos in place. The first servo is right here on this heli. It's in the front, so I'm assuming that's the front and back. So I need to find the language on the front and back. Okay, the first one after the EC is the tail, but then it's front and back. So this one's the front and back. Brown wire up. That's going to be this one right here. Alright. It's going to be that one. Now, I need to find all the others. This one here is my tail. The tail on this bird is right down here. And I can feel it when I'm pulling on it. Yep, that's the one going way down. So, let's see if I can get, that was the first one on the chart, was tail. And these are Spectrum wires or JT T-wires, so I gave it a little bit more pull. Let me get the red tape out of here. And the tail is the first one here. So it's, you know, power, tail, front and rear, and now we have left or right. So and their instructions are not really telling you the front of the helicopter, and they should show that with the H1 facing the swash, but it really isn't doing that. They got the receiver sideways, and they're saying this is the right hand side, so I need to find the right hand side. This one is the right hand side. So the right hand side is the next one after front and back. And of course, only got one left. So this would be the left hand side. Kind of weird. It can't be that easy, right? You're saying? I don't know, but that's what it says in the book. Alright, so I don't know if it's a good idea. I should disconnect some motor wires before I begin here, but this is hot soldered. So let me go up underneath here. I'm going to cut this wire off. Not the wire, but the wire ties, sorry. Because my connectors are down here. So I'm going to disconnect two of them so we don't have any issues here. Alright. Now, I have a battery in here. It's not fully charged. Let me back up on the zoom. We can see what's going to happen, I guess, but let me put the GPS on. I'm going to plug the GPS in right here. I haven't figured out where I'm going to mount it yet. I will put a piece of tape here for security, like most receivers. Alright, so here's the GPS. We're just going to lay it thereabouts here. I'm not sure where it needs to be, but let's do a quick test. Turn on the radio first. Let the radio boot up, and let me see what happens. They tell you to disconnect your servos, so if something happens, I'm going to pull the power real quick. Because this bird was set up, but it probably wasn't perfect. So, as you can see, that pulse on the tail servo is really moving hard. Oh. So that needs to be checked. And so most of the servos are in the proper position, except for forward. Let's put the radio here. Forward, back, left and right are backwards, but up, elevator is up and down, so that's good. And I'm getting a yellow flashing light. See the tail? Yeah, the tail definitely off. So that's gonna hurt something in the end, so I gotta get that disconnected and recentered. Not a big problem. So So now I guess I have it in the 380 connected to my radio. I'm going to disconnect the power. I know what issues I have to take care of, but I'm just hoping that this helps someone out. I haven't put on the GPS yet, but to me that was fairly simple to do. But I will disconnect a couple of servos and get them all centered properly. And I'll go from there, and I'll do another video. I hope this helps someone out. This is Cruise Roy with the H1 flight controller and my donor, my poor donor 380. Alright, I'm out of here.